You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Bold and Beautiful fans. We have got your episode info for Tuesday, July 18th, 2023. This is season 36, episode 205, and most importantly, it is day one of the serious divorce drama that is going to see the end of Hope and Liam's message. But it's not just them we have to talk about. We also have Finn in these episode spoilers. There is so much going on. We're so excited to dig into it. Everything is getting so juicy on B&B right now. And I have to admit, we're loving it. If you haven't already, please click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Bold and Beautiful updates and spoilers. All right, digging in. So Kelly had this bad dream on Monday about her daddy not being able to get to her. And of course, her daddy is Liam. And this is some kind of weird premonition that scares her, and it's not for nothing. They mention it for a reason. So somewhere soon, it seems like Liam is not going to have access to Kelly. There's been a lot of speculation that it's tied back to Finn. So the big spoiler for Finn for Tuesday's episode is that Finn warns someone. And then there's an undated spoiler for him for this week that Finn must make a decision. And of course, we know it's time for his mom's trial. And the question is that the decision he's making? Is he going to go see her? Is he going to go to the trial? Is he going to go see her in jail before the trial? And in terms of who Finn might be warning, I mean, I could see him warning Liam, saying, dude, I know your marriage is falling apart, but don't come sniffing around my house. I would love to see that warning so that there's a shot across the bow. And then when Liam inevitably goes back to the Malibu house, sniffing around Finn's wife, then he's been warned. And if Finn has to toss him over the same cliff that Brooke tossed Thomas off, I think it's fair game, right? But I don't know, because Liam is on the way to Hope's. Last we saw him on Monday's episode, he was with Wyatt, and then he's heading over to Hope's, and they're going to talk divorce. And there's a couple of things on Monday's episode that are going to bleed over into Tuesday's that I really enjoyed. I loved that Wyatt sniffed out Liam's lie that he was sitting on about kissing Steffi twice. Wyatt nailed him hard and said, that's the reason that you are not actually trying to save your marriage with Hope. It's because you still have Steffi in your back pocket. And then Liam's like, oh, I wouldn't disrespect her marriage. Dude, you already did. You already disrespected her marriage by kissing her once in Rome. And the Rome kiss, okay, you can say heat of the moment, whatever. The Malibu kiss, he got in his car. He drove there. There was like 3 or 4 decisions made. And at any step of that process, if he really respected Steffi's marriage, he would have stopped. He would have turned around. He wouldn't have cranked the car. He wouldn't have walked in the house. He would, just so many steps that prove that he has no respect for Finn and he has no respect for Steffi's marriage. And I definitely think he's planning on thinking that he might still be able to slide in there, but he is trying to rationalize things with Wyatt. Later this week, Hope and Wyatt have a chat. It was part of the promo where she's talking about years of betrayal. And I am wondering in the end if Wyatt might come out of this Team Hope. Not that he's a fan of Thomas, but I think he could end up actually supporting Hope's decision to call things off with his brother, to push back on, you want a divorce? Fine. So do I. So I'm excited to see who's Finn is warning. My top pick obviously would be Liam. And then we have Hope and Liam meeting to discuss their divorce. At the time that Liam walks back into the cabin, because that's where they're going to sign their divorce papers, he's still talking divorce. He has not taken any steps to make it happen other than just saying it. And it's only because Wyatt called him out and shamed him over this Steffi thing that Liam's, I think, even going over there. So I really appreciated on Monday's episode that for the most part, Thomas was in the room, but sat quietly while his woman had it out with her mother. And you have to, even if you're a Hope and Liam fan, even if you don't like Thomas, you have to admit that Hope had some very salient points. Just that Steffi has always been a specter. I mean, Hope knew that going into it. But then with, Brooke basically saying, put your marriage back together. And I love that Hope put back on her, you have been miserable most of your adult life because the man you love loves someone else, because Ridge does also love Taylor. I mean, we saw that, was it Friday's episode where Taylor and Ridge were 2 seconds away from kissing? I mean, they were all up in each other's grill, and maybe they did kiss, and we'll see it in the flashback later. Who knows? But I really appreciated Hope telling her mother, you were miserable. I don't want to be miserable. I've lived in a similar situation for too long. I'm done with it. And it's not necessarily about Thomas. It's more about, this is my problem with Liam. But at the same time, Hope recognizes that Thomas is a man who loves only her. And I loved that he just sat and he did speak up at one point, and then he just sat down and shut it and just let Hope do all the talking while she's wearing his clothes, which I'm sure made him hot. And then at the end of that chat, she sat down beside him and was like, I choose Thomas, put her hand on his thigh. He put his hand on her thigh, and Brooke looked like, I just want to burn this house down. So I really like the respect that Thomas is showing her. And, showing Brooke, not trying to defend himself to Brooke. He did a little, but then he just backed completely off. So I just wonder if Brooke is going to respect Hope's request to keep the whole sexy time with Thomas thing quiet for now. And the reason I bring that up is so Liam comes over to Hope's house to talk about divorce, and he is going to be absolutely gobsmacked because at some point, I don't know if she already had them sitting in draft on her computer for a couple of years now, but Hope's got divorce papers. Liam's there to talk hypothetical divorce, and Hope is whipping out divorce papers let's make this happen now. And I do want to just say, it's kind of funny. A couple of people have dropped in the comments it takes 6 months to get divorced in California. I agree. It also is very hard in California to get an annulment. The situations that qualify for it are few and far between, and none of the situations on Bold and Beautiful have ever met that requirement, but they keep doing annulments. So don't get tangled up in what's legal and what's not legal, because it doesn't matter to the Bold and Beautiful writers. They are going to make it out like she pulls out these divorce papers, they sign them, divorce done. I mean, you know how this show is. So we're super excited about this. I have one more quick thing I want to say, but if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our Bold and Beautiful episode updates, spoilers, promos, predictions, and more. So the divorce conversation that Hope and Liam have on Tuesday carries over onto Wednesday. And the spoiler for Wednesday is that a longstanding relationship ends abruptly, and that's going to be them signing the papers. And we saw in the promo, after Liam signs his name, he takes off his wedding ring and leaves it. I mean, I'm guessing she's not going to repurpose it for Thomas. But it's, it is happening. And while you can say that maybe Hope isn't making the best decisions about Thomas, I do think that she's making very conscious, deliberate, well thought out decisions about the fact that her future with Liam is not what she wants it to be. She's looking ahead at her mother with Ridge and just seeing, that's my future if I stay in this marriage. This is how it's going to be. I'm going to be my mom's age and still be dealing with this crap with him back and forth with another woman. And I think Hope's right, and I think she's right to walk away. Whether she's right to walk away with Thomas, I don't know. That's up for debate. Brooke said she'd regret it. I think, maybe Hope will wind up regretting being with Thomas, but I honestly don't think she's going to regret divorcing Liam. What you guys think? Drop us a comment.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.